Okay, guys, different kind of news show, different kind of news update today. Normally, I try to, put out a well thought out, scripted update for you, but I've been on a kind of a time budget, super busy last couple of days. But there's some news stories breaking that I wanted to get to you today, if possible. Going to be talking about Magic Happens. We got a date for Magic Happens. Walt Disney or Disneyland News Today put out an article today talking about how Disney is going to be increasing their spending this coming year for 2023. Very interesting topic. I want to cover that a little bit. Want to cover Walt Disney World reservations. We've been teasing this. We've been hearing this was reported like a week ago, but I wanted to talk about it with respect to what's happening there and how it relates to what's happening here in the parks. And we're going to be talking about the reservation calendar in the parks as well, because some really interesting stuff is happening there. Okay, so let's get into it. Magic Happens. We got a date, February 24th. Magic Happens. They've officially announced it's going to start February 24th. That is, you know what? That stretch from January 27th, you got Runaway Railway on the 27th. You've got Magic Happens. And you've also got the beginning of the 100th anniversary. Then you got Magic Happens, and then what? In March, you've got the opening of Toontown. It's going to be a hectic week, but I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about there being finally a daytime parade in the parks. We've been dealing with these cavalcades, which I mean, God bless them. They're fine. You know what I mean? It's like it's a nice diversion, but so often you see people kind of lining up and getting ready for these cavalcades, and it's just it's the omnibus and some characters or a single float. Actually, did you guys see the holiday one? They've got Mickey and Minnie in a carriage, a horse-drawn. I mean, like a legit, like the kind of a Handsome Dan type carriage that you see in New York City. Anyway, I am ready. I am very much ready for Magic Happens. And now here's the thing. What was it? It debuted in about the same time in 2020, February. It debuted. It was on stage for just 16 days, and then COVID hit, and all hell broke loose. And we haven't seen a daytime parade since then. I have a feeling that people are going to respond really well to Magic Happens. This is going to be brand new. This is going to be brand new for so many folks. This is like having a new parade. And I have a feeling that people are going to be really impressed with this. I mean, I was. And it's not paint the night, but then what is? But it's certainly better, in my opinion, than Soundsational. I enjoyed Soundsational. It was fun, but this parade is so much better. It's so much better. It's a really fun, contemporary, modern parade, whereas Soundsational felt a little '90s to me. Now, again, nothing against the '90s, but I mean that's 30 years ago now. So I'm really looking forward to Magic Happens. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys think of it. I'm going to try to put some of that parade at the back end of this video too, as well. You know, the one time I've seen it. Well, I've seen it twice, same day. I watched both parades the same day, and that was it. So we'll give you guys a little brief look at that. Next up, Disney spending. Walt Disney World News Today, Disneyland News Today. They put out an article that, according to an SEC filing, Disney, because they're supposed to report how much they plan to spend on things, whatever. I don't understand that as well as others do, but it has been revealed, Disney has revealed that they plan to spend $6.7 billion in capital expenditures, as opposed to, or that's above the $4.9 billion that they spent in 2022, which they're reporting as a 37% increase over last year, that's a lot. A 37% increase in spending is a lot. The question is that parks? Is that going to go to parks? Probably. The way it was described in the article is that capital expenditures typically are park type stuff. I'm not sure how that is, but I guess they don't qualify making movies as being a capital expense. I don't know. Infrastructure for Disney Plus. I don't know. Capital expenses, though, is commonly that's how you commonly define park expenses. 6.7 is a significant increase over 4.9, no doubt. However, I would hedge our optimism on that being a big number, and two, being parks. As far as the number goes, it is 6.7. It is more than, obviously 37% more than the 4.9. However, in 2021, Disney did the same thing for 22. This is all per the Disneyland News Today article. Disney expected to spend 6.2 billion this year in 2022. They expected to spend 6.2. They actually spent 4.9. So they cut their capital expense budget by 1.3 billion. So when you compare the 6.7 to the previously estimated 6.2, it's only half a billion more. I mean, it's still more, and it's still, an increase, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to, and it doesn't necessarily mean they've got big plans that they're doing something major in the future. Even that 1.8 billion increase isn't enough to do. You could build, I guess, it costs about what do they spend on Galaxy's Edge? Was it 2 billion or 4 billion? I don't remember how much it was. I mean, you could do a lot with that, but I don't know if it could be considered a significant increase. Anyway, it's cause for hope. Now, my question to you is, what would you do? Where do you think that would go? If this is parks expenditures, what do you think they're going to do? What would you want them to do? Ride maintenance and just making the parks better. And I feel like that's number one in my book, Disneyland especially, putting a bunch of money into just making our current park better as is. But there's the stuff in Walt Disney World. There's so much stuff in Walt Disney World that they didn't get to, they didn't finish, that's incomplete. What they're doing in Epcot, I feel like that's kind of, half of what they were planning to do. At least that's the way it feels. Maybe this is the beginning of Avengers Campus, the new e-ticket. Maybe it's something. Maybe they could do something in the back lot. I don't. Before you even say it, don't think People Mover or Tomorrowland. I don't think we're a long way off from Tomorrowland. Anything happening there? I have completely given up that ghost. We're not getting Tron. We're not getting People Mover. I don't want Tron anyway, but we're not getting any of that. And we wouldn't learn about a Tomorrowland investment through this type of thing. We would already know. But mind you, they're talking about money spent in 2022. Most of the things that are going to be built in 2022, we already know about. So I would temper your enthusiasm and say this is very much probably going to be more of the same of what we've seen in the past. Okay, next. Walt Disney World there's a rumor, has been for about a week, that Walt Disney World is going to be significantly modifying their Park Pass reservation system, which is, I don't know, they call it Park Pass reservations. We just call it the reservation system here at Disneyland. The rumor is that sometime in the early 2023, they are going to get rid of the reservation system completely just for single and multi-day tickets. If you buy a single-day ticket, you're going to pick a date, and that's it. There's no reservation per se, and it doesn't sell out, I don't think. But when you buy your ticket, you're also booking it for a specific date. I suppose that would also mean, I think, you could just walk up to the gate. Dude, does that happen a lot? In Florida, at Walt Disney World, does that happen a lot? Do people just walk up to the gate on a whim and go to Disneyland? I know here it happens for sure. But it's so, I asked that because Disney World is so removed from the rest of Orlando in that sense that it kind of, I don't know if it's the same, if it's a thing that people do. Anyway, they're going to remove the Park Pass reservation system completely for single and multi-day tickets. It would still be in place for annual pass holders. Annual pass holders would still be required to make a reservation. Meanwhile, for single-day tickets, there would be no park hopper rule. It was 2 p.m. at Walt Disney World. There would be no park hopper rule. However, there is still a 2 p.m. park hopper rule for annual passes. Now, this is something that people ask this a lot. They say, can you just get rid of the park hopper? No, you can't. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can explain this correctly on the whim like this, but for as long as there is a reservation system, there has to be a park pass. I mean, there has to be a park hopper time. If there is no reservation system, then you don't need a limit on park hopping. The reason for that is that if you don't set a time when that can happen, people would just. What's the point of booking a park? What's the point of choosing Disneyland or DCA? Everybody would just go to Disneyland. Imagine there being 100,000 people total in the both parks combined, Disneyland and DCA, which is probably high. Let's call it 80,000, right? So, and they all want to go to Disneyland, and maybe they all want to go to DCA as well. Maybe they do have plans to park hop. If there is no system, if there's no park hopping, they could all just show up at Disneyland. And then some of them would go to DCA. But you need to do that in order to keep everybody from showing up at Disneyland at the same time in the morning. That's a terrible explanation. I just did it really poorly. If you're going to have a reservation system, you have to have a park hop time. The only way to get rid of the park hop time is to get rid of the reservation system. They are mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive, depending on how you look at it. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to happen in 2023. This is not, by the way, this is not an Iger. This should not be attributed to or related to Bob Iger's tenure, his new tenure here at Disney, or as Disney CEO. This was something that has been in the works for a while. I heard this rumor a few weeks ago, actually. So this is something that they've been. I don't think, to be honest, that the Walt Disney World even needs it. I asked this question on Twitter a while back. I can't remember how long ago it was, but that was why I had asked, because I had heard that rumor, and I was going to do a report on it, and I just wanted to find out how difficult it is to make a reservation at Disney World, and it's not that difficult, at least not compared to Disneyland. So I have a feeling it was kind of an easy choice for them, and eventually I do think they'll do the same for annual passes. I don't expect this to happen. We talked about this in another video. There was a rumor that this might happen at Disneyland also. I am not hearing anything like that as of yet. We need to be patient, or we need to have patience with respect to Disney trying to do anything like that here at Disneyland. It's going to happen on a long enough timeline, but just not by January 2023. I thought maybe it would, but I feel like they've got some more thought to put into that. Now, getting to the reservation calendar here at Disneyland. Interesting observations that I've been making, watching, talking to a friend. He said, "Dave, you got to check this out. What is going on here? I've never seen anything like this before. Look at this. That's the single day, or I should say single park reservation calendar. So this is not annual passes. This is single day tickets for a single park. And look at all those. No reservations available for a good. Nothing for Disneyland for the first 20 days of December. That's a solid 3-week stretch with a couple of dates for DCA. That is incredible, considering that you get the the understanding is that Disney is trying, what we thought was trying to sell more single day tickets, right? That was the goal, and yet you can't buy one. Now, did they sell out? I don't know. I mean, well, I should say, is this how many they wanted to sell? Did they sell it that quickly? I feel like there's room. I feel like there's room for more single day tickets. You go to the parks today. I mean, November, it's been pretty. It's not busy at all. It's not that busy. Now, this isn't December, mind you, but we're not that far off. What is today's the 30th? This is tomorrow. Actually, that first Thursday in December. That's tomorrow. That's kind of shocking. Meanwhile, January is completely wide open, as it should be. I wouldn't expect January to be completely wide open, but I thought I would share that just the same to give you a sort of reference. It's a stark difference between December and January. Again, single day, single park tickets. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Look at the park hopper calendar for the same period. Look at the side-by-side. Park hopper on the left, single park on the right. There are whole days available. What is it? December 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 19th, the 20th, the 27th, all these dates are completely available, but only if you buy a park hopper. If you want to buy a single day ticket, you can't come in. Has this always been a thing? I feel like this is a brand new development. I feel like I thought that they were working from the same bucket. I thought single day tickets were working from the same bucket, but they've got two buckets, one for park hoppers, one for single day. It is significantly easier to get into the park with a park hopper than it is a single day ticket. Here's something interesting. Look at the single day or the single park for December 4th. You can get a single park ticket for DCA, but you can't get in at all on the park hopper. That's the opposite. I mean, that's the factor of them being in two different buckets. I don't understand what they're doing here. I mean, there's got to be a reason, right? I guess so. The bottom line here is, if you're trying to get a reservation for a single day ticket in December, you got to look at the park hopper calendar. I wonder if they're going to open up more of those. Now, compare that. Let's compare the Park Hopper calendar to the Inspire Key, and you can see that it's quite a bit more available, at least for the first 2 weeks in December when they're not blocked out. Thursday, tomorrow, I can get a reservation for tomorrow. I can also get a reservation for the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and the 12th through the 15th. Difficult to get a weekend one, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But this goes towards more of that concept of them trying to deliver or to direct guests Magic Keys into specific days. I would be shocked if they didn't have a smaller bucket for the weekend than they do for the weekdays on Magic Keys. But this is the part that's equally confusing. Are they trying to get more Magic Keys in the park? Is this a pivot? Is this a pivot to get Magic Keys in December by opening up, giving them more dates to book and fewer dates on single day? I feel like the only reason why this could be, if that's the case, we don't know if that is the case or not, but if it is, the logical conclusion is merch. Has Disney realized that the people who buy the merch at Disneyland are the key holders, Now, I know a lot of you are like, a lot of Magic Key holders are nodding their head. Old annual pass holders are nodding their head. They know that there are times when we would go to the park just to buy merch, just to buy the new food, just to buy whatever that new thing is that's come out, the new line or whatever. You know, there's a lot of examples that I can't think of off the top of my head. Did they miscalculate that? Are they trying to get more Magic Key holders? And now, if that's the case, should we hope to dream that we could buy? I mean, they would open up dates for Magic Keys for that blocked out period. I kind of feel like it's too late. We theorized on that being possible a few weeks ago when we were looking at some glitches in the calendar. By the way, looking at the Park Hopper, those dates, the period during which the Magic Keys are blocked out is completely wide open for Park Hoppers. Is it the same for single park? Kind of. Single day tickets are available for all dates except for the 27th and the 28th. That's interesting. The 2 days after Christmas. Why are those dates booked? There's got to be some reason that I'm not aware of. Why are the 27th and the 28th on the single day or single park calendar? I wonder. That's why I think, because there's no annual passes, that there's more dates available. What if they don't sell as many as they want to? I feel like there's a little bit of room for hope for that, but probably not. Food for thought. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Those are the things that I want to talk to you real quick. Although this kind of winds up going on longer, doesn't it? When I do this, when I riff, I talk more. How about that? What was that line from, I want to say it was Mark Twain. I can't remember who it was, who apologized. He wrote a letter to a friend and he said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't write you a shorter letter. I didn't have enough time." It takes time to make your thoughts more concise. Anyway, that's my Mark Twain wisdom. I don't even know if that was Mark Twain. I love you guys. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter, FreshBaked Disney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBaked Disney. If you like our show, want to show you support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.